What is up, YouTube? Welcome to a Thursday edition of Get Technical. I'm Neil Hamilton. I'll be your host for the day. With me, actually not with me, is Aaron Bree. I hope he's okay. Guys, give me indoor skydiving to the moon. No, you got to do the real thing. You got to, okay. Here's a little thing. I think it's national. I'm not sure if it's international, but it's a 1 in 500,000. For every 500,000 skydive jumps, one person doesn't make it.
1 in 500,000?
Yeah, that doesn't. It seems like not great odds. So something to be aware of. So, you know, this is for educational and informational purposes only, and entertainment and all that.
See, now do you feel bad because since you made it, now it's 499,999 till the next person doesn't, so you put someone on their deathbed.
Don't put that on me. Number one, Pepe Le Pew. How'd you earn that?
I don't know. This is just the name that Rohan gave me today.
Controversial character. Didn't age well.
Why? Is it because he's like making fun of French people or something?
Yep. All right, guys, welcome to Get Tactical. We're going to look at some stocks today. We had T-Boon's Pickens on yesterday, Tyler Wood, CMT, talking about the rotation out of value back into growth, seeing some money, some signs that we're going back into big mega cap tech stocks. So I thought a really good way to start off the show would be just to go through a list of, FAANG stocks, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, and then Microsoft, who's actually, I think, the most performant out of all of them. It doesn't even get a letter in the word FAANG, or the acronym, or the initialism, or whatever you want to call it. But let's just take a look at them from a price structure point of view, from a tactical point of view, and see what opportunities lie ahead and potentially what we've missed. Because I can tell you that before the show, I was looking at a few of these and I really wish that I would have gone hard on Microsoft in particular. So yeah, strap on your little, your technical trading parachutes and get ready for a big day. And guys, let me get one of these emojis in chat for Pepe Le Pew, showing up on time as always. Mr. Punctual, we call him at Benzinga. That's his nickname. We say, uh-oh, here comes Mr. Punctual, because the group is all already at a place, and then Mr. Punctual shows up. So, okay, what up? Brad called it out on SPAC attack. Oh, EVGO just halted. I like where this thing is, though. I like where it is. It's getting that bounce activity. EVGO. What percentage was this? This is a halt? Can we get confirmation on the halt? Perhaps I'll pull up Pro. Benzinga Pro. I'm gonna get confirmation on the halt. So we'll do the. Oh, it's up 10.8% for the day, and that's the high because we can see the body of the candle up there. This halted on a. Thank you, Tubby Ninja, Jerry. Let's get them. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. And make sure when you do it, make this sound. Because you know that if you're driving a Jeep with the top off and you're going down the street and Matthew McConaughey comes by and he's in his Lincoln, he's going to notice the Jeep first. He's going to go up to you and see your little puka shell necklace with the little lizard right here, and he's going to go with the sound. You know he's going to do it. So just, if McConaughey is doing it, you should do it.
And maybe you even have a surfboard on top of the Jeep or something, like you're on the way out to the mountains, beach.
Mountain boarding. There's a word for that. But anyways, EVGO, I like where this thing is at because it's just in bounce world. And it's stopping like right at this little shelf right here. But you guys know, like, just lately I'm looking for these really oversold stocks. So I don't know. I'm not saying I would enter right now, but I'm saying let's see if we get a nice, clean, bullish engulfing candle, meaning scary red knife on the left, but we hit support. And then on the right, we get a green candle, meaning that the stock price moved up during the session, and it's bigger or taller than the previous one. And that is a great little reversal to watch for. This is also, if Sylvia was here, she'd be saying, oh, look at the doji this, doji that. So there you go. Great, nice little reversal of trend. Let's see if we can boom like that. So yeah, EVGO, I don't know anything about this. So EV Go, it's like electric vehicle go. Retail trade special. Okay, who cares? It's a chart. So let's take a look. So I said at the top of the show that because our resident CMT Tyler Woods was here yesterday talking about rotation back into mega cap tech stocks. Let's take a look. So let's start off in order. We're gonna do, guys, get in chat. Let me know. Yeah, Sloppy Toppy's making money today. KP, shout out. Couple of those for the Sloppy Toppy. Always. When you are in the presence of a Sloppy Toppy, make sure you let, I don't know, your partner know that Sloppy Toppies are good by one of these. We're kind of mixing words there, or phrases at any rate. Oh yeah, so guys, let me know in the chat. Do you know what FAANG stands for? Do you guys remember these things? I feel like I'm going to turn around to like an old dusty bookshelf and pull out a book. 2019, 2020. Open it up. FAANG. What is this? What's in this tome? Then there's the news. David hit us with the news. EVGO up on the news catalyst of a partnership with GM, a larger company. There you go.
Thank you, David.
All right, so let me know if you know what FAANG what it stands for. What do people? You guys remember these things? You guys got it right off the giddy. We got Brett, Dave, Yogi. Guys, give us a like for all the smart members of chat that are helping us all become better, smarter, better looking traders. Yep, and then also Microsoft there at the end. Smash a like for the chat. You guys rock. Okay, so we're going to take a look at these in order. So first one, of course, everyone's favorite CEO, Facebook. I just typed Facebook into a stock thing instead of FB. Nice. All right, let's get the ticker right. Okay, so with Facebook, you can see the colored background because I've already been here doing my thing. Put my feet up on the table, using the Fibonacci for this previous pivot down to this low. We looked at Facebook yesterday. Tyler Woods was here yesterday. If you didn't see it, go back and watch the episode. A lot of really good insight into treasury bonds and the relationship with these mega cap stocks, or the bank's relationship with these mega cap stocks, and how things are starting to look a little bit like 2 summers ago. 2 summers, summer and a half, just basically the last 4 awesome years or more of the bull run before we got where we are now. We are in a little bit of a downward trend here with lower highs continuing for Facebook. But you can see that this Fibonacci that I drew up is holding true where we have bounced off of this blue line here. And we're looking at probably resistance where we found support here, just because of the volume activity. So this one, not really looking like an entry. Actually, you know what?
Tell me, Neil.
signs of a bounce. Check. Signs. We need to see the bounce confirmed. That's one. What's that mean down there?
Means we're seeing a little volume.
No. What's the purple line mean?
Oh, RSI?
Yeah. When it's lower than the dotted line, which is 30, what does that mean?
That means it's getting oversold.
It's getting oversold, guys. Facebook has the makings of a bounce right now. Tubby Ninja. Top marks, Tubby Ninja. Top marks. All right. Thank you, Hex214 Pony. I like where this thing is. We're definitely going to hit resistance right here. Why? Because we did before. We did before, guys. And then we're using our volume profile tool to map out where the next shelf is kind of going to start. I'm going to use the peaks here. And look at that. That lines up with this resistance area. I'm going to zoom in to make this a bit easier for folks to see. That lines up. So I'm just using the volume profile on the right where the shelf really starts to accumulate into a peak. And then we see that that is a resistance level during this consolidation phase, during this consolidation phase. So if we're just looking at this as a swing trade, I would want to see a candle close above this level of resistance. That's your breakout. All right. But this is looking like we're getting our good bounce. This is just like I was saying earlier, where you want to see one of kind of two scenarios. One is a simple we're looking at the 1 hour. Look over the day. Okay. So we're sticking with the day to make things to simplify things. And let me delete this drawing. Sorry, guys. I was on the hour. I meant to be on the day. Still looking like bounce territory. Why? Because we're getting pushed up here. All right. We're getting pushed up. This area right here, this volume shelf, creating support perfectly creating support. Yeah, that was the hourly. So not quite as oversold as I had led folks to believe. At any rate, I do think that we are in an area where we can start climbing back up with Facebook. We shall see. This actually now is downward momentum. We want to see a little bit of a curl up, and we want to see another candle show us that we're going to hold this area as support. So that's Facebook. Less exciting on the daily, more exciting on the hourly. Which the hourly, of course, is what comprises your day sessions for your day candle. So this is where you're getting more detail on what constitutes the bounce that I've been talking about. All right, so that's Facebook. Not super excited about that. Could be the beginning of a head and shoulders for Facebook. It actually could be. But what I will say is a lot of times stuff looks like a head and shoulders is not a head and shoulders. You could also draw it a bit differently if you were to do like weekly or no, maybe daily. Oh, certainly could be. This again is going to be your line in the sand.
Noah Posner in the chat, Mike's little brother, saying Best Buy looks exciting today. Maybe we'll check that out after we get through all the Fang stocks.
There you go. All right. Let's look at Alpha Papa Lima next.
AMC?
Close. AMC is not in a good spot.
Whoa. It's up today.
It's up from like a super downtrend. So okay. So let's Alpha Papa Lima. Apple, very performant. There's two ways to look at what has recently happened. This music makes me feel like I'm an undergrad.
Smoking some grass.
Smoking some grass with those co-op kids.
Looking at charts.
Yeah, we used to pull up some charts. We used to look at the big tech stocks, Circuit City. You know, not sure if that's a stock, but yeah, we were smoking grass. The times are different. So Apple has come out of what I marked previously as a bull pennant. But really, you can just see this little W slanted, albeit W pattern reversal out of this intermediate downward trend and into a strong upward run. After this big upward run, I got to keep checking my time frames because I screwed myself on Facebook by being on hourly. But you can see that we are in overbought zone. So we're looking at previous times that we've gotten to this level. And we can see that it's been pretty severe sell-offs. Right? Here, down to here, that was a 21% sell-off after we hit that overboughtness. Right here, we're looking overbought. I think we're going to hit some correction. That's just how it is. Now, where is that correction going to go? Pretty obvious. It's going to be these support levels right here. Let's see how this lines up. Just using our volume profile, getting this peak out here. Somewhere around here is going to be your support zone, right? We're not calling out an exact price. We're calling out a support zone for Apple. But I think the theme here of this whole show that we're doing right now is that we're looking for opportunities in these big tech stocks so that we can ride the wave as the rotation back into tech continues to accumulate buyers. I'm just going to change the color on this because I'm, I suppose, particular about that. The background on this is going to be blue. Why? Because it's support. Duh.
Get with it.
But also, you know what? Don't bet against stocks that are hitting all-time highs. So your most immediate support is going to be at that 145. You break down past that, we're going to start looking into this zone where you can see that we've hit resistance, support resistance in the past. So I would not be mad, and Tyler pointed this out, where he's like, being overbought doesn't necessarily mean that it's about to go down. It simply means that there's an excess of buyers. There's a higher ratio of buyers to sellers in the market, creating momentum. And it's something that, and actually Chris Capri, is he our guest today?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chris Capri would tell you, there's no reason for a run to stop until it shows you a sign that it is actually stopping. And you see that in the price. These should give you pause. Maybe consider scaling out when you're getting into this overbought territory. So if you are in an Apple swing trade, not an investment, but a swing trade, because as an investment, all signs point to this mega long-term upward trend continuing. But as a more of a swing trade, so days to weeks, even months, or which would be like more of a position trade, you can look at perhaps scaling out a little bit. So if there is a big drop, the bulk of your trade is not, or the bulk of your position is not being hit by that, and then you can scale back in. But those are sort of the two levels. Okay, so. Okay, so let's say, so we hit Facebook, Apple. What's the next one in the FAANG Derby? Amazon.
AMC.
Is there overwhelming demand for me to look at AMC right now, or is it just coming from Mr. Punctual, Pepe Le Pew?
No, it's just coming from Pepe Le Pew.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, I would love that.
Your shirt is the exact color of that beautiful Michigan foliage behind you. And you look like a hobbit from Lord of the Rings. With a powerful, magically imbued tunic that was given to you perhaps by Galadriel or another powerful and old elf among the first elves.
I will take that as a glowing compliment, like I know it was meant to be.
Yeah. Okay, so Amazon. I was doing this thing. All right, everybody in the chat, clap your hands. If you can hear this music, clap your hands. Aaron, can you hear the music? Come on, Frodo. All right, good stuff, guys. All right, good stuff. And that's enough. Enough.
Oh, now we're getting some AMCs in the chat.
Yeah, because we triggered them. Yeah, cool it, Francine.
Yeah, Dobby.
How many times I gotta tell you? You don't miss. You don't come and to get technical and mix up those two franchises. You don't do it. Yeah, so while Tyler was here, he pointed out the sideways channel that Amazon has been in and has broken out of. And what often happens when we break out of these sideways patterns, which can be something like this, it can be like just your classic double. A lot of times when we break out of them, actually, I think the majority of the time, is you get your initial run, and then you get a pullback corrective phase before you start your real markup there. So we can see this with Amazon. I don't see this as a failed breakout, of course, because we haven't broken back down past our upper resistance line, which is now our support. This is the inversion of our upper resistance to now has become support. We have not broken down past it. So we're looking for perhaps a bounce at this level and then a return into some form of run. And you see very faintly I have my Fibonacci here. I'm not sure where I anchored that. It's an extension. Fibonacci extension, not a retracement. But then with all of these, once we start getting into all-time high territory, remember the technical trader's Swiss Army knife, the Fibonacci retracement tool is your friend. That is going to help you find levels to watch out for where there's no price history to inform you. Which means, there's no one holding the stock at that price that you're about to hit or that you may hit. So Amazon looking damn good. Watching for the bounce on this one. It's a big ass stock though. That is a big ass stock. So if you guys like big ass stocks, some say the biggest, one of the biggest. So if you like big ass stocks, throw one of these in chat. Do look like he'd be on the rock. Bilbo Baggins do look like he'd be on the rock though. Oh, yeah. Got some of this. Yeah. All right. So that is Amazon. What's next on the FAANG circuit?
Netflix.
They just had news. What was their news?
Steven Spielberg, bro.
Okay, I guess it depends on who you ask. Wait, what is the Steven Spielberg news? Is he going to produce something original for them?
Yeah, bro.
All right, cool. All right. Excellent. Oh, I hate having 10,000 logins for all my Benzinga accounts.
You want me to give you mine?
No.
Okay.
Oh, and then it locks me in this hell. All right, so the news that was announced is that they will be doing some game streaming, some remote computing or cloud computing processing of video games, so you may be able to play. HW got it.
Wait, so not just like streaming other people playing the games, you're gonna be able to stream a game through Netflix?
Yeah. So like instead of having to buy a PS5 or build a PC that has a lot of processing power in where you are, the processing power will be over where Netflix is, and you just have a controller and the screen.
Do you remember that company that like tried to do what Netflix did when they were still shipping out DVDs, but for video games?
Gamefly.
Yep.
We're gamers.
When I was like 13, I always wanted to get Gamefly, but my parents would not swing it. And then
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the other thing that I loved was like going to Blockbuster and picking out a game, and you'd get like halfway through the campaign and have to like bring it back.
That's where you go wrong. I never brought those games back. That was my thing. When I was really young, I used to go to Blockbuster and rent the PlayStation. You rent the whole damn thing. I'm walking out of Blockbuster with my little Pokemon hat on. Well, like I got the briefcase, baby.
And a big chocolate bar. You know, they sell like the big candy.
chocolate bars like this big. Those were the days. Back smoking grass with my friends playing that PS3 or not even PS3. Jesus, it was definitely a PS1. Chris Capri's here, Second Skies Trading, in backstage saying that can be a huge market. Everyone's been trying to do it for years. There was one called, I think it was Game On when I was an undergrad that tried to do it, but the infrastructure wasn't there.
Yep.
I
know PlayStation has their own kind of version of that, like PlayStation Now, where you can get on and kind of play games on demand, where you don't actually own the game, but you can. It's like you're essentially streaming the game. I assume Microsoft and Xbox has one as well. But yeah, I mean, if Netflix can pull this off,
if anyone can, it's them. You know, they've been doing all the work with getting high quality video out to people all over the world, based on like regional limitations on their internet infrastructure. And then you compare that, like the other day I was playing a game on my buddy's laptop using GeForce, which is by NVIDIA, or GeForce something. I forgot what it was, but it was all remote computer. It wasn't using the processing power of the laptop. But then you look at Google Stadia, which flopped like a tubby ninja. Okay, so anyways, Netflix, not unlike, if I were to do two charts here, not unlike Amazon here with the sideways channel action. What is this? Just do it. And of course, it's on the 6 hour because I'm weird. Not unlike Amazon with the sideways channel here. Is gonna okay, I thought I was gonna mess everything up. Well, they're both just Amazon, so they look exactly the same. There's your lesson in technical analysis. If you have the same ticker, it's generally going to look the same no matter how many times you pull it up. But the point that I'm trying to illustrate is the choppy sideways channel. Looking for a breakout out of that is really going to tell us that we're in a run for Netflix. But there's a lot that can be done here in the intermediate time frame, or the shorter time frame, to be sure. Just for me as a swing trader, as a position trader, I just want to see us get above this channel into all-time highs. Let's go. All right, so then what do we have left? We got Alphabet. So Goog. Let's try something with Goog here. Anchoring the Fibonacci to the high before the COVID crash, and then anchoring the low to the low of the COVID crash to get an idea of this post-COVID run and the levels that we've been hitting. And you can see Fibonacci, Swiss Army knife, all really handsome, good-looking, beautiful. Technical traders should be using it. These levels matter. And we can see that we started to get into Chop City as soon as we reached that 2.618 numbers. Elbow cough. And we're at that top area. We're at that top. Now let's look at the history of our overboughtness. Sell-off. Consolidation, not quite a sell-off. Not quite. And we're just kind of cresting above here, this overboughtness. Oh, this one was pretty significant, but what was that? I feel like that's when the big rotation started to really happen. I think Google's looking really good. Google's looking like it's on a solid run. It's got a red candle, but the candle's not quite taking us down past the low from 2 days ago. We're holding support on yesterday's low, which is also previous resistance. So this looks like a classic just run consolidation phase. Will it exhaust? I don't see any exhaustion gaps here. I don't see any signs that it's completely over. I think Google's in a good position and could easily get up to 2893 here. And then also something cool to point out, as always, is that the volume shelf is lining right up with this resistance. If I can move this thing out of my way, that'd be great. Move. Well, you can see a little bit of a spike there, but it's behind the ticker, right there. And And so you can also see how there's this cove in the volume profile. That's what creates this little liquidity gap right here, so that we're able to so easily sell off. So watching this area, support zones are right where I've drawn my lines. And then, of course, at this previous level right here, it could bring this up just a little bit, just tighten that up with the bodies of these candles. So looking for entries here. And then FAANGM. How do you spell FANG? Oh, MS, not Macy's. Microsoft has just been a beast. I'm pretty sure Microsoft has been the most performant in terms of momentum on the price chart, out of all the FANG stocks. I just love Microsoft. People love Microsoft. They want more Microsoft. They can't get enough. So we just do something very simple here, which is just draw a channel. Something maybe like that. Bring it up there. Then you can see us sort of hitting. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm not sure if it's thick enough. Yeah, you can see the blue dotted line, which is sort of a median that I've drawn in, like an ad hoc median that we've been hitting during this upward trend. And then we crossed above it. We're a little bit overbought right now. Areas to watch for are going to be, if we look at this just horizontally, right around here, where we've got some volume activity, and then before the gap up. But things in general looking good for these stocks. Guys, give me a or a 1, whatever's easier for you to do in chat if you guys have gotten in on the most recent runs in these FANG stocks. Webcoin says, please let Raz know that Brent is doing an outstanding job in the squawk. Thanks. I will let him know.
I already did.
Okay. Cool.
I threw it in the everybody Slack chat, actually, because I wanted everybody to know how good of a job Brent is doing.
That's good. You're a sweet little hobbit.
Well, it is 1:33.
Tis. And one of the only people that gave us a 1 on it is our guest for the day, Chris Cabri.
What is happening, boys?
How's it going?
Good. And yourself?
Good, man. I just had a vacation. It was wonderful. I needed it
I
so bad.
saw on your Twitter feed a little skydiving. You decided to jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
Yep, that's right. Will do again.
All right. So
very relaxing.
A lot of the stocks you were talking about, I'd like to talk about as well. I kind of had on my list, so I'm digging this.
Let's go.
EVgo. So I've looked at this right here from an options complex. I actually like them a lot. They don't have a whole lot of options. I'm not including the options that are written today, but they don't have a whole lot of options expiring this Friday. And when I look at where the kind of calls and puts are lined up, I think even right now, I would be open to selling cash secure puts at the $10. I think this 10 to 10.50 is going to hold. This spike off this, I think, is legit. And when I look at options positioning, it really lines up with this base, huge base of support here. We have not had a weekly close below this thing here since last year, basically. So I feel like this is actually well supported for that. I would be okay with selling cash secure puts, the $10 cash secure puts for tomorrow's expiry. Next week, maybe I'd probably wait till Friday, but I like that. Or wait for a dip back into this kind of 11, 10 area here and get long calls. I think this is supportive. I'm seeing a lot of calls pushing up towards the 15 strike. So some traders are looking to target the kind of push up to here. I think probably once you start getting to 14, it's going to start slowing down a bit. But I feel like this could be, from a short-term play, 1 week or 1 month out, I think this could be a decent play. Docusign. So we, in our long-term investing portfolio, just added a position to this. I am bullish on Docusign. We've had long bullish plays on Docusign stock and options for a while. And when I look at Docusign, we had this spike up here and then a lot of consolidation. But then once they had that incredibly strong earnings come out right there, boom, just gain. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row, plus the 2 leading up to that, 9 weeks of straight gains. That is an immense imbalance on the order flow to the buy side. Am I surprised that it's taken profit and pulled back from the all-time highs? No, we talked about this with our members in the live trade channel that we thought 290 was going to hold. And we actually sold our long stock position from 270 right around 287. We're starting to get back into this area where I feel like owning Docusign for a medium or long-term play is a good play. When I look at the options complex on it, we do have a fair amount of options rolling off this Friday, about 32%. And since the market is, it's generally been more long calls than puts. I feel like some of those calls are going to be monetized and closed going into this Friday OpEx. We're going to see a little bit of a pullback, and we've already started to see that today and yesterday. So I feel like maybe on Monday or Tuesday, this should stabilize in this zone. And I think this is a great play for a medium or long-term play. Yeah, you can buy in this zone here between 260 and 270 for a day trade back up to 290 or a swing trade back up to 290. But I think Docusign has potential to be a long-term appreciation. So for option traders, there's a couple ways you can play it. You could sell cash secure puts 1 month out around 260. That may require a lot of margin. You could wait till it stabilizes at 270 or 260 and get long calls. Calls are expensive generally on Docusign. It has pretty good IV right now. So I would recommend a bull call spread. And for those of you that don't remember what a bull call spread was from several weeks ago, you'd be buying calls at your entry price, and then you'd be selling calls further out of the money. And so I think between 260, 265 is a good location for long calls. And then selling the 290s, I think would be good. I think eventually what's going to happen at Docusign is it's going to build inside this range here and eventually break out. I've seen a lot of analysts targeting 330, 320 by the end of the year. And I think we're going to see prices above 300 by the end of the year. So I think Docusign is really getting into a place where it's starting to become valuable at this point. Next one, you mentioned Facebook. And I kind of want to talk about Facebook. We were day trading Facebook today, day trading options on it. And I feel like the main structure we have to look at right here is this kind of counter trend corrected pullback. So we can see that there are dip buyers. There are people who are coming into Facebook and saying, hey, I enjoy buying dips on this because they believe in the medium long-term prospects on it. But it just keeps rolling over. Lower high, you have triple top here. And then same thing here. We had another triple top. And then you have this impulsive corrective and impulsive sell-off. I think Facebook's got a little bit more to go. But I do think long-term, this is a great stock to own. And so in terms of where I like adding a little bit of size to Facebook, I like this kind of 338, 339 area to get a little bit of size in. If you can get the 323 to 325, maybe even up to 329, 330, I think that would be okay. If you by some chance get long at 300, which is where we took our original long, gangster location. That's like one of the best locations you could get for the next 3 years. So in terms of options and how I'd play it, I would be cautious on buying calls at this price. I would let this approach the level and then see if we see stabilization, see if we start to see some highs building off the lows. If we don't, and we see kind of like an impulsive corrective structure on the 1 hour where it's just kind of pulling down into this, and then it's just a very tight corrective structure, then I think it's going to want to roll down a little bit further to the next area of support. When I look at options on Facebook, I see about 35% of the options rolling off this Friday. That's a lot. And the market is without a doubt long calls, about 1.3 million calls to about 900,000 puts. So I think Facebook has got a little bit more to roll back today and tomorrow. But I think as you start to get into these deeper levels, it starts to become better and better as a long-term buy. So that's my Facebook. You covered Amazon. I think your analysis on Amazon is dead right, which is that we had this corrective structure. You had an impulsive move into it, then you have a corrective structure. And there were signs that Amazon was going to break out. It had based at the bottom, based at the bottom, based at the bottom, higher base lifting up, higher base with very little pullback. Each pullback is less. When you see that, that means the bears are running out of steam, and it means the bulls are getting more aggressive and saying, hey, we'll buy up at a worse price because we think this is going to break out. Amazon, in terms of options, is, kind of an expensive one to play. But it's got 48% of the options rolling off this Friday. That means there was a lot of day trading of the weekly options and monthly options in the last 2 weeks on Amazon. So I think this is ripe for a little bit more of a pullback, but I think once you start getting to 3,550 and 3,500, Amazon becomes an incredible buy at that point, not just from a stock perspective, from an option perspective. So for those of you that have the margin to do it, I would look at selling cash secure puts for 1 week or 2 weeks out at the 3,500 or 3,505 strikes. Otherwise, I would wait for it to get in this 3,550 to 3,500 range and then look to do a bull call spread. Buy calls in this zone here, sell calls around 3,700. So that's how I'm looking at on Amazon. And then Netflix, they're not quite the same charts yet. They have the same corrective structure, but unlike Amazon, we're not seeing like a series of higher lows building up. So we haven't gotten the pressure yet on Netflix that we did on Amazon. You're totally accurate. This impulsive corrective structure is, you nailed that. And I think the next leg is up. But when I look at Netflix, I see 40+% of the options rolling off this Friday. So I don't think Netflix has any chance, unless they get some gangster news announcement. I don't see them having any chance of getting above 555 or closing above 555 by the end of the week. I think if anything, if we get no news, if it fades into this, that might be a short-term day trade down, and then look to accumulate Amazon between 500 and 485. And this is the same thing. I'd be buying calls in this area here, and I'd be selling the strikes between 540 and 555. So you could do anywhere from, that's a pretty good bull call spread. Otherwise, you could 1 week or 1 month out, sell the 500 cash secure puts or the 490 cash secure puts, collect the premium. If it doesn't get there, you keep the premium. If it does, you get exercised, and now you have a long stock position in this area. So those are the main ones I wanted to cover today. I do have some coverage on ARK, which we can talk about, but I want to take a look at questions at this point. Let's see here. Pepe Le Pew, your shirt is green now. AB Straight Mall Rat, excellent presentation. I'm not sure if that's me, but if it is, thank you. Do we have time for ARK?
Yes. Yes, and we're getting Vale as well.
We'll do Vale next. Okay, so ARK, when I look at ARK, its main holdings are Tesla, and it just increased its stake massively in DKNG. I understand the long-term play on Tesla, but the DKNG has me a little bit more concerned that this wasn't a good play. And both of them are rolling over. You look at Tesla right now. We've been telling our students to sell any rallies in Tesla this week, and it's been rolling over a little bit. It just can't get past the 700. We haven't been above 700 for about, almost 2 months now going on. It'll be 3 months by the time we get above 700. I feel like with all the options on Tesla right now rolling off this Friday, it's going to pull back a little bit more. I feel like you look at, say, this 1 hour structure, it's just not favorable. We're not seeing, what are we seeing? Impulsive corrective into the weekly VWAP. Impulsive corrective doesn't even make it to the weekly VWAP, so it's not rising or pulling back as high. And the impulsive legs are still to the downside, and the corrective legs are not that strong. So I think Tesla is going to roll back towards this kind of 625, maybe 600 before it starts accumulating buyers again. But for now, Tesla short-term is bearish, and that's putting pressure on ARK. Same thing with DKNG. DKNG is bearish. So when I look at ARK, I feel like short-term, it's going to keep rolling over. But, it doesn't have as many options rolling off as Netflix or Amazon, about 33% of it. I feel like ARK is going to pull back to the 110, maybe 107 area. And so for people that want to collect some premium, looking at potentially selling the cash secured puts 1 week out. So for next Friday, either at the 110, 109, or 106, 105 area, or look to get long calls in this kind of 109 to 106 area. and then targeting the 125 strike or maybe even 120s. That would give you about a $10, $15 spread on that. I would look for this to be about a 1 month out in terms of expiration. So look for the August expiry on that, because these are going to need to stabilize after this big sell-off. This is a big sell-off here. And I think it'll take about another day or few days to get down here. So you probably want to give this 1 to 2 months for it to get back up to the 125.
What's your VWAP anchor to?
So on the weekly VWAP, it's anchored to the month. It should show right here, VWAP month. So always show the anchor point.
So are you typically with VWAP? I know we're retreading some stuff that we've covered in previous editions, but with VWAP, are you typically doing one standard increment higher for your anchoring?
No. So I do for the weekly and monthly charts, I anchor the VWAP to the month, or the daily and weekly charts, I anchor it to the month. For the 4-hour charts, I anchor it in the 1-hour charts, I anchor it to the week. And then anything under 1 hour, I anchor to the session, because that's the session. You should be session VWAP at that point.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody had a question on Vale. So let's take a look at Vale, and let me get from an options complex as well. Whoa. That's a lot of options rolling off today or tomorrow. Over 55%. You got about 1.1 million calls, 800,000 puts. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be long right now. Yeah, this is going to roll over a little bit. So we're at 22, 23. Where could I see this slowing down? I like this 20 zone, and you see I have some alerts here. So I'll show you kind of the main structure I'm looking at right now. The one thing Volley's got going for it, so it's in a corrective structure between 23 and 20. However, you are kind of seeing an Amazon type push where you have a base at the bottom here, a little bit higher low here, a little bit higher low. So how much this sells off will be very communicative. If it gets to here and stops, then I think that's a good sign that this is going to want to eventually break out. Might even be a good time to maybe sell 1 week out, $21 cash secure puts, or even the 20s. If it breaks this, then it's going to put this and this under pressure. I think if it breaks this and it clears 21, I think it's going back to 20. It's going back to this base again. Short term, I would not want to be long in this. I don't think it's going to break out. It's hard to have that many options on the call side versus the put side and have over 55% of them rolling off tomorrow. If somebody's been long calls, at 20 or 21, they're going to monetize that. There's only 1 day left. Why risk the high theta exposure for 1 day's profit? You would have to get, a plus dollar gain just to gain, maybe 50 cents in premium, but then you're going to lose 50, 60 cents in theta. So it's not worth it. So I think a lot of calls, the long calls, are going to be monetized today. I think more are going to be monetized tomorrow. And I also think that the dealers, if the market has been long calls, which it has, the dealers are short calls. They can start to unwind some of those short calls, which will actually help, overall them. But also they had to buy shares to neutralize and hedge some of this position. And so they're probably looking at this and being like, hey, this is not going to make it above 23. So they can start unwinding their long shares and the market can pull back from that. So I think the greater probability is that this closes below the week, below 22 and a quarter versus closing above 23. I think it's a much higher probability it closes below 22 than 23 to end the week. Then we'll have to see where it stabilizes. Is it here or is it 20? At that point, I do think it's a good buying opportunity for it, both on the option side and on the stock side. So yeah, great question. How are we doing on time? We got about, what would you say, 6 or 7 minutes?
Yeah, would you do 8 minutes if you can?
Fair enough. Milimo, sorry. Will you sell secure puts on DKNG for 45 strike? No, I'm not going to touch DKNG at this point. I wouldn't consider DKNG until go to the weekly. Yeah, I wouldn't touch DKNG until about 36. I don't like any of this structure. I don't like this impulsive, corrective rounding, pulling back. I think DKNG is in trouble. I thought DKNG was a great trade last year. I think it's been a much weaker trade this year. So I'm not a fan of anything on DKNG until about 36. Do you ever anchor VWAP at the previous high or low? I do not. I want to anchor it. The whole point of VWAP, volume weighted average price, is that you want to look at volume and price over time, not necessarily picking and cherry picking certain prices. So I look at it as, let's see what kind of volume is happening over price over time, not saying, okay, this high, this low. That's my thoughts on that. So anchor it to various periods. Disney, TM, TSM, and NVIDIA and Visa. Okay, let's see if we can do this on the fly. Disney's got about 40% of the options rolling off this Friday. It's got about 660,000 calls, 550,000 puts. Overall, I like the structure on Disney. This is a favorable structure. Impulsive, corrective, impulsive leg higher, counter trend, corrective, pullback, but then finds a base at 170. So I think there's some really good buying opportunities at 170. Where would I see there? Yeah, 170 is not a bad price. 170 is not a bad price. I wouldn't want to be getting aggressively long between now and Friday. If I'm going to get a long on Disney, I'd want to wait a little bit. I think there's some decent opportunities. Let me go 4 hour in this one here. I feel like 181, 182 is too aggressive. I feel like with tech being a little bit weak, some things pulling back. I like Disney between, 179 and 177. And then if you can't get that, then you wait for a 170 strike. I don't think we're going to get to 170 unless we have a much bigger sell-off in tech and the markets as a whole. So yeah, between 179 and 175, I think are solid strikes. And I would probably play those 1 month out. So August expire on that one there. So yeah, great question on Disney. TSM. I was looking at this one earlier today. TSM, I think, has a decent dividend. Don't they have a dividend? Do you have a dividend? You do, 1.16. This sell-off is kind of concerning. And so you basically have, let's go back to that. You have a breakout and a quick false break, and you don't want to see false breaks that are that fast. It spent very little time, 2 sessions above it, and in one session, it's erased the last 4 sessions of gains. That is not only a massive amount of profit taking, that is a lot of traders flipping short on this one here. So when I look at this one here, I see 40% of the options rolling off this Friday, so I don't want to be getting long anytime soon. I see about 475,000 calls and about 500,000 puts. If I had to speculate, I don't think those are the puts are more protection. I think there are a lot of cash secured puts. So where would I consider getting long on TSM? Let's go 4 hour. I like this 115 down to 112 area. I do not see us, unless we have a major sell-off in semiconductors as a whole, I think it's going to have a very hard time getting below this 109 to 106 area. If you happen to get it from a long-term play, gangster location for a long-term play. But on a short-term basis, I wouldn't take a long. I'd wait for this 115 to kind of 112.50 area as a short-term area. Otherwise, I'd wait for a little bit deeper pullback, 110, 107, 105 area. That's what I look at TSM. But I'm medium and long-term bullish on TSM. NVIDIA in the same space. And we got about 4 minutes go. Ooh. Yeah. Semiconductors rolling over pretty heavy. Look at this one here. Impulsive, counter trend, impulsive, corrective, impulsive selling. This has got more to go. I think this has got a lot more selling to go. So AMD.
It's funny you got the AMD alert right at that moment.
I know.
I want
to
very
when I look at AMD, sorry, NVIDIA. I should be looking at NVIDIA. Yeah, that's what I want to be looking at. NVIDIA. 50% of the options rolling off. You know, I hate to say this, but I can't get excited about NVIDIA until about between 720 and more towards 700. I think 705 is probably the first location. This sell-off is really aggressive. We look at, you see one session, two session, the whites are session, three sessions. We've gone $70 in three sessions. And when was the last time? I mean, we've taken days off the run up. You're talking, what is that? 1, 2, 3. It's like 10 sessions. We erased 10 sessions worth of gains in 3 days of selling. That's a lot of profit taking. That is a lot of aggressive selling on it. Traders getting short today. I think you're going to see a much deeper pullback in NVIDIA. I can't feel excited about this until about 700. I think once you start getting to 700, you're going to start to see some hedging activity from dealers. Like they will kind of be forced to probably start buying either some stock or some options at that point. But I feel like 700 would be first. 700, 705 is first location. I get excited. If we get a weekly close below 685, ouch, then we're in for a lot more pain. You have to look at like 650 before you can touch it again. So not a touch short term. Got to wait for a little bit bigger price on that. Okay, I have 1 more minute. Who's the next on the list? Visa. All right. And Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. Wait, what? Am I not getting options data on Visa? That's weird. All right. Now I got it. I like Visa actually. 320,000 calls, 250,000 puts, tight range of structure of calls and puts. About 30% of the options rolling off, but yeah, I'm liking Visa from an options perspective. I think this is a good play. I think this is the best bullish play short term I've seen. I think if we can, I think you're 240. I think your 240 is your location. Maybe you want to wait for weekly VWAP, which is right around 242. If they have a 242.5 option, then maybe selling cash secure puts around 242.50 for 1 week out if they do that. But I like this. I like this on pullbacks between 240 and 242.5. I think it's a good stock. I think they have a dividend. And yeah, they do. And just payment processors are in a very strong space right now. Financials are in a strong space right now. There's potential for rate increases. Financials are going to benefit from that. Yeah, this is probably the best short-term, medium-term bullish play out there.
That's a really good note to end on, but I don't want to end yet. Do you have time to look at CLF? That's been a mainstay around here.
Yes, happy to. Happy to. Okay. Ooh.
Damn it.
60% of the options rolling off this Friday, and the market has about 1.1 million calls, not even 500,000 puts. And when I look at a lot of the gamma, it's lined up between 20 and 25. Yeah, I wouldn't be short-term bullish on this, but I like this in this. I like CLF between, okay, it's a 4 hour. Let me just go to weekly super quick. I think there is some potential for a rollback on this one, but I feel like between 21 and 19, this is a solid play. Not at short levels, but between 19 and 21. We do have earnings coming out next week. So I think we kind of need to let that play out, see if it comes out higher or way lower than expected. If it's normalized, then you should have an opportunity to buy between 21 and 19 or 20 and 19. I think that's the play on that one.
That is my current that's my current bag holder. I like to hold one bag in my portfolio at all times. And right now it's CLF. All right, Chris Capri, thank you so much for coming down to the stream. I have wait, where'd it go? Damn it. Oh no, it's right here. Wait, PLTR. I've got Second Sky Forex right there.com. That's the website everyone needs to go to. Hit the like button if you would like to have the maestro level technical stylings of Chris Capri back on Get Technical next week, perhaps. I don't know, toward the beginning of the week. Chris, thanks so much for being with us. Can I just ask you one parting question?
Of course.
What is your favorite ticker going into Q3?
I would probably say Target.
Target.
Yeah, I think Target is probably one of my best tickers going into that.
Retail, baby. Let's go. Okay. So we can touch on that a little bit perhaps next time.
And yeah, and we are now doing Monday through Friday daily articles about stocks and various stock picks and investment ideas. So come to our website. You will see stock picks and stock ideas every single day now, Monday through Friday.
So there you go. Get your butts on over to secondskyforex.com. And is it Second Sky Trading or Second Sky Stocks?
For Second Sky's Trading and
Second
YouTube.
Sky's Trading on YouTube. We are subscribed over here at Benzinga. So I recommend you guys do the same. Go over to Second Sky's Trading over on YouTube and get that subscription. All right. Thanks so much for coming on, Chris.
Good to have you back.
Oh, thanks, man. All right. Take care. All right, Chris Capri, that's a real one. God, he makes everything seem so easy, yet I suck so bad at trading. It's incredible. I don't know how it's possible. Is that a Fortnite dance? Can you floss? Oh, I'm old. I'm so old. Damn it. I just wanted to point out one last thing. I didn't get to Palantir, but looking for a little bouncing activity during this intermediate sort of rounding bottom that we have here on Palantir might be something to that. So just watch out for that. And do make sure that you check out Second Skies Forex for that ongoing education. We're getting into this oversoldness territory. So I'm going to be watching for a pivot here on PLTR. Palantir. Chris was a good guest. I would say it's an understatement. He's fantastic. Guys, please hit those likes. Just hit the little like. It helps us know that we should keep this show going. It gives us what we need to continue. Gary, right back at you. Let's see here. Let's go to that. Do one of these. What's up next?
We've got Benzinga Crypto Show with Catherine Ross, crypto reporter extraordinaire. Tubby Ninja, right back to you.
Awesome stuff, guys. Good energy. Keep it up. I'm going to take a look at Target after this. So, guys, if you're watching this now live, or if you're watching it later from your lazy boy while you're eating a little Hungry Man TV dinner, take a look at Target stock, which I believe is TGT, right?
Yep, I just looked at it, and it's like on a good sustained uptrend.
Ooh, shit. Let us know your thoughts on ticker TGT Target in the comment section on the video right after you hit that like button. At any rate, I'm Neil Hamilton. With me, as always, has been Samwise Gamgee, also known as Producer AB.
No, it says my name is...
Yeah, get rid of those smash the like thing so we can see it.
Hold on. I gotta find it first.
Let me make sure everyone knows your name.
Let me just... where'd you... You're
I don't know. I was just pressing buttons.
All right, I got you.
I don't know what I did.
Oh, no, I don't got you. Hold on.
Whatever. Let us know your thoughts on Target in the comments. Marriodoc Mary Brandybuck from the Shire. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, happy trading.
Peace. Be back tomorrow. And now it's just me.